Have you ever felt a deep stirring within, a vision so profound it feels etched into your very soul, yet wondered how to truly bring it to life? Perhaps it's a creative project, a new way of living, a deeper connection to your purpose. Today, we don't just wonder, we step directly into that space, sacred space of creation. Welcome, beloved souls, to another sacred gathering within the Step Into Your Power community. I am Brother Jimmy here with Sister Honey, and we are so honored to share this space with you today.
In this powerful episode 30, we're diving deep into divine expression, manifesting your sacred vision. And this isn't just a concept, it's an activation. We will explore how to truly connect with your inner divinity, unlock your unique creative flow, and transform those soul-stirring visions into tangible realities. This isn't about wishing and hoping, it's about embodying your truth and consciously co-creating with the universe.
So as we embark on this journey, let's plant the seed of our core affirmation, a truth to carry with us. I am a divine channel. My sacred vision flows through me with effortless grace, manifesting into beautiful reality. Feel that truth settle into your being. So today we have 3 segments for you. And before we get started, let me show you this beautiful picture. There we are, divine expression, manifesting your sacred vision. And again, Brother Jimmy got notes. So, I'm going to read my notes because we got a lot of good information for you and we want to make sure we don't miss anything. So that's what we do. We don't have teleprompters, we got notes. So, but make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. If this resonates with you, make sure you do that. Share with other people. Look at the comments. Look at the other episodes we've done. This is actually episode 30, Sister Honey. 30 episodes. Crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we're going to dive deep into this today. Again, we've got 3 different segments. The first one is called Reclaiming Your Divine Blueprint. Each segment, we're discussing 3 or 4 things. I'm going to read them out one at a time, and then we're going to get into discussing them with Sister Honey. Of course, if you have any questions, always leave them in the comments. We do the best that we can, but we do get to all the comments eventually. I wish it was faster. We're working on it, but we do get to the comments. So make sure if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box. So again, reclaiming your divine blueprint. So the first thing we're going to talk about is understanding divine connection. At your core, you are an extension of Source. You are inherently divine. Yeah, divine. Your desires are not random whims. They are divine impulses, whispers from your soul guiding you towards your highest expression. This connection is not something you earn. It is something you remember and reclaim. It is the wellspring of all creation within you. So, Sister Honey, when I say that, what does that say to you? And how do people really embody that?
I think thinking about the body of Source is how I go about it anyway. So if you think about your own body and then you remember that we are within the body of God or Source, whatever you call it, and we're like the cells in there. So we're embodied inside and outside. All of it is Source, and we're floating around in that consciousness, and we're carrying that consciousness.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, it is a powerful thing because there's so many different words that people utilize to identify the Source, say, or I call the Heavenly Father, Divine Creator. But what I do know, it has no beginning, no ending, everything's in it, and it's in everything, and everything's made of it. So to say that you're separate from it, like I feel like a lot of, and again, I love all my brothers and sisters in Christianity and Islam and, you know, Hinduism and Judaism. I love you all, as long as you're not doing anything evil, you know, to the little ones or any nastiness like that, darkness like that. Oh, I got all nothing but love and light for you. But I also think that the man-made religion wants to put that wedge in between your connection to divinity, that you are part of divinity, because it is one big thing and everything is within it, and it's within everything. What do you, because, you know, I mean, you could read the history of some of the different things that's happened in the name of religion over, you know, thousands of years. There's been some really terrible, terrible things, like
Yeah.
the Gnostics, who were, you know, very spiritual, the Essenes that were very spiritual, what folks call Jesus, but I call Yahushua, who was part of this scene. So was Mother Mary, so was Joseph. And, you know, to look at the persecution and what happened to these folks, it always seems like they want to keep that us separated from that. How do you see that, Sister Honey?
I see religion as religioning. So religion. And if you think about what a legion is, it's basically a whole group of people that go to war. So I think it was created for separation. And I think there's been many, many things that have been created for separation, including countries. Because I think the last, you know, the last group of people, they didn't really have nearly as many countries going on. It was more of a world, you know, civilization. But I think that it's really hard on people because they really only need to know one thing, and that's love and unconditional love for each other, because we live in the same body. We're made up of the same thing, and we all have a different personality, but that creates beautiful different perspectives. And all of these other things are like distorted overlays, like keeping people small. This person isn't as worthy as this other person. It's all ridiculous, really.
It's interesting because, you know, our community is step into your power. And it is that they've been trying to hold people back from stepping into their power, because they understand once that happens, they have no hold upon them. This is why they mess around with our frequencies. You know, we used to have the 440, 432 coming out of all the instruments. Then they went to the 440. They knew that created fear and anxiety and all kinds of stuff. There's great frequencies and there's terrible frequencies, and they understand the terrible ones to keep people separated in fear and anxious. And not understanding that you are part of the divine, you are powerful, and, you know, what you think, what you feel becomes real. And, you know, it's interesting because I was talking to my son TJ today. You know, he would talk to me about, well, how do you know these things, Dad, like 5 years before people start talking about them in the mainstream? And I said, it's because I'm at the right frequency to pick them up, to download them. It's like a radio station. Are you tuning into the right channel? And so it's not that I'm better than anybody. I'm not. Everybody's equal. But are you stepping into your power? Are you utilizing your divinity? Are you creating your reality with your frequency? And you understand the power of that? Everything is already there for everybody. It already exists. It's whether you are putting out the frequency to pull it in. What do you say about that, Sister Honey?
Yeah, I mean, everything has a different timeline, a different parallel. And you yourself as a soul, like you have so many. You could have hundreds going on at the same time. I think some souls are so big that they could have thousands going on at the same time. Thousands of different lifetimes. And as we resolve them, then you're healing them. But we have to remember who we are. I mean, that's what we're kind of coming into. And that's why we're claiming our divine blueprint, is remembering who we are and getting that information and being willing to let go of something that might be like an anchor, anchoring us to the timeline that we're in that may not be the best for us. And maybe the next timeline at a higher level will be better. And that's what we're doing right now. We're letting go of those things that are the anchors. And you can think of it like a hot air balloon, and they let go of the sandbags. And all of a sudden, the balloon starts to float up. That's what we're learning how to do right now. And when you're doing that, you're entering your divine blueprint.
Yes, and that brings us to the next point that we're going to talk about in this segment is identifying limited beliefs. So often we carry narratives, inherited or self-imposed, that tell us we're not enough, not capable, not worthy of our grandest visions. These limited beliefs are the static on your divine channel. We must gently yet firmly uncover the subconscious fears that block your creative flow and prevent you from fully expressing your truth. What stories have you been telling yourself that dim your light? So how important is that, really identifying these limited beliefs, Sister Honey? I know you work with people with that too, where you actually, talk about that a little bit, how they can work these limited beliefs.
Yeah, so I do that in a program called The Journey to You. And I used to do it in person, but I don't, have time for that now. So now it's a self-guided thing. And The Journey to You is also in Ascension Mastery on Step Into Your Power. And it's included, which is great because it costs the same to do it by yourself on my website as it does to do that and all kinds of other things on Step Into Your Power. So it's just a way to basically clear away things that you don't need anymore. So like feeling small, feeling like you're not worthy. A big one for people is money. If you don't have self-love, if you don't truly love you, then most of the time you don't have enough money. And that's because it's a foundational thing of caring about yourself and making sure that you have enough. And it's also letting go of all the constructs that have been put on money to keep humanity small, because money was created for slavery and to keep enslavement going. And then they said, oh, well, if you're creative, you're not going to get money. If you're a healer, you're not going to get money. If you're this, you're not. And that is lies, right? So really thinking about that. And there's been a lot of people who've tried to help people get over that. But the true thing is self-love.
100%.
That's what gets, yeah.
Can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure my mic's good.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's so important to identify those limiting beliefs and understand that there is nothing that you cannot resolve and just dissolve it into pure energy and let it go. Regardless whether it was something that was done to you in your childhood by someone in your family or not in your family, or anything that happened through your life, let it go. Believe me when I'm telling you, most of those people aren't suffering. And all you're doing by holding on to it is hurting yourself. And I was telling my youngest son, Jimmy Jr., this the other day. I said to him, because he's young, he's 29 or 28, he's a baby still. That's how I feel about all you youngsters out there. But I was telling him, because he's got a very good heart, and sometimes he's sacrificing himself for others. And I said to him, the most important thing is your connection to the divine, your relationship to the source of all creation that we're in, and it's in us and everything's made of it. That's number one. Number two is you before everybody else. After the divine, it's you. You are number two. Divine's number one, you number two. So I would say that everyone that's watching this, that you need to understand that and really embody it deeply within yourself, because don't let people who've done something to you in the past or says something to you, change who you are. Don't dwell on that frequency, that vibration. Back to you, Sister Honey.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and really thinking about the martyr syndrome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us were taught to martyr ourselves to someone else, to basically give all of our power away to someone else, and then also save them at the detriment of our own personal self a lot of times. And that doesn't work. And it actually is very unhealthy at this point to be doing that. So, we really want to think about it. If you're thinking about, what can I do to help this person? Help. Are they asking you for help? Are they doing, are they in the middle of a lesson that maybe they haven't learned? Are you interfering with that lesson? Those kind of things. You need to be sovereign and let them be sovereign too.
100%. And that's beautiful for segueing right into the power of self-acceptance. True power begins with radical self-acceptance. Embracing your authentic self, flaws and all, is not just a feel-good exercise. It is the foundation for power, uninhibited by expression. Your unique voice, your unique perspective, your unique path. This is your divine signature. There is no comparison, only authentic resonance. So this is very important. Talk about that a little bit, Sister Honey.
Well, I think being able to see things from a higher point of view, like being able to see the whole thing without being obsessed about keeping everything in its little box so that everything can be perfect, and keeping everything going just the same. We've really gotten obsessed as a collective with keeping everything smooth and basically unchanging. So keeping it without change. Change can be really good. And we've been afraid of it for a long time. And having your own unique perspective about life is really important. Being yourself is so important, because nobody's going to get you down the street. Don't be a carbon copy of the next person. That doesn't work. And it doesn't create growth.
No. And, accepting yourself is important. I was really hard on myself many, many years. I was harder on myself than anybody was on me, except my father when I was growing up, because he, again, was abused physically and unfortunately sexually. I never was sexually abused. I was definitely physically pounded. But my father lived his life through me, his childhood through me. And I had to be perfect at every single thing. And what happened is I carried that forward and I drove that to myself. And I gave very little leeway to myself. And I have learned that it's okay to miss something. It's okay to not be 100% all the time. It's okay to be normal. You know what I mean? So it took time for me to learn that, because I was really hard on myself. And, being acceptance, that power, when you really accept yourself, like it said, accept yourself, flaws and all. Flaws and all, right? Because no one's perfect. No one's 100%. but I used to drive myself to be that. But I learned, through meditation, prayer, just growing spiritually, that it's okay to let those things go, not try to be like, me out when work, I got to get it done now. But no, it's okay. It'll be done in the divine timing. So, Sister Honey, we're going to do a little guided breath work, and then we're going to talk about a little journaling. This is a great episode, folks. So stick with us because we're going to have some fun here. Can you take us through a little bit of breath? A couple minutes, that's it. And then we'll move into the journaling a little bit, and then we'll go to the next segment.
Yeah. So I would like to invite everybody to start to think about being grounded, whether you're inside the house or outside of the house. Inside of the house, a new thing that's popped up, which is really helpful, is to take sea salt and put it in like a cookie pan or whatever you want and stand on it. And about 10 minutes of that will get you grounded. And then what I would also recommend is breathing. So you want to take a really nice deep breath and think about your belly and put your hand on your belly button. And just think about that's where you came from. That's where you started, right there at that belly button. And remember that you were a beautiful baby that was born. And start honoring that part of yourself as we breathe in to your belly and then breathe out anything that you don't need anymore. And just keep thinking about that. As you breathe in, you remember who you are and remember how precious you are. And then when you breathe out all the stuff that you don't need, because there's so much of it that you just don't need. And just do that for yourself every day, whether you're in the car. Don't close your eyes in the car if you're driving. But if you're in the car, do it. You can do it in the car. You can do it at home. You can do it outside with your feet on the ground, soaking up the sun. Whatever you do, honor you. I'm choking.
You okay?
Yeah. Honor yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. And another thing that I do is, anytime that you're feeling any out of whack, just start breathing and, put your hand on your heart too, and with your left and then your right over. And as you're filling your stomach up, and another way you can make sure you're breathing and filling your stomach up is when this is not the devil sign for those out there that want to say nastiness to Brother Jimmy. Don't say nastiness to Brother Jimmy. But just take your thumb and your finger next to your pinky and hold it, and you will breathe, and you will pump your stomach. And so when you're doing, if you have to do that and put your hands over your heart, do that. And then when you're focusing on your breath, focus on that breath filling your heart, and get that coherence with your heart, because your heart is powerful.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most powerful organ in your body. The magnetic field is strong. It really is a powerful thing. So focus on your breath, focus on that breath around your heart, and just, relax. I mean, a lot of people just don't breathe. Breathe, for goodness sakes, breathe. So you okay, Sister Wendy? Grab some water. Grab some water.
No, I'm fine.
Let me just grab a little bit out of my copper bottle here real quick. Copper bottles. There used to be copper bottles all over the place, and the hospitals had linen sheets and copper utensils in there. Why? They, do a little research on it.
Yeah. Copper was like everywhere on the doorknobs, and then you were upstairs on the sun deck on your bed.
They were wearing it.
Yeah.
They were wearing it. They were putting it in their garden next to the plants, and the plants were thriving. It's powerful. It's very powerful. Yeah. So now with that gentle connection that you have with the breathing, I invite you to journal on this. What divine whispers have I been ignoring? What deep desires feel like they are trying to break through? Allow yourself to write freely without judgment. So don't judge yourself when you're writing this stuff. Just write it. Okay, look at the time because we're going to move on to the next segment if you need to come back, but you should write things down. You should be journaling. Writing is very powerful, right? But don't judge yourself on what you write. You just, be the observer. Be the observer. So segment 2, unlocking your creative flow, the rhythm of expression. This is awesome. So let's go beyond creativity as an art. Let's broaden our understanding of creativity. It's not just about painting or music. Creativity flow is the natural rhythm of bringing anything new into existence. A project, a healthier relationship, a new way of being, a business idea. It's the energetic movement of inspiration becoming form. Talk about that a little bit, Sister Honey.
Well, I mean, most of us are having something every day, all day long. I mean, today, somebody didn't understand the time change that happened in the US. And there were 2 of us waiting for one other person. And we just made 2 other short videos, and that was just inspiration. We didn't just sit there and wait like little bumps, and not get anything done. We actually did something, and those videos will go out and hopefully they'll help the collective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's important, not like if somebody is supposed to be doing something and they don't show up, you just need to go into action and do like what you just did. You created some additional videos that are here to help people. Creativity is a very powerful thing. It's interesting because I'm a life path 3, and I know you are, Sister Honey, and so is my son Tommy, but also I'm a builder. And I'm a builder of new systems, and I'm an exposer of corrupt systems. So, which I love, by the way, and I know that because I've done this many times. This isn't my first rodeo at it, but again, as you're here and I'm here and my son's here for this particular time, we usually find ourselves in these situations where we're helping that transition into that higher frequency. And what planet Earth is going through is very exciting, and creativity is flowing. You just got to get into alignment with it. I mean, I can't stop my creativity. It just doesn't stop. It just continues. I have to slow it down sometimes. I was telling you, Sister Honey, before we got on this episode, was that I'm getting so many downloads right now about past lives, about blueprints, about everything. Right now, I'm working on building out what's called the Guardian system for the Step Into Your Power. That whole thing was downloaded to me, at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's happening. Every time it happens, it's right then at that time. I think when the veil is the thinnest, the connection to the divine is the thinnest, it just, whoom. I mean, it just, any of you experiencing any of that? If you are, put it in the comments. Let us know, because I was telling my son and my wife, I said, I have never had so much clarity and so much creativity flowing through me in my entire life. What in the world's going on, Sister Honey? Fill us in.
Well, a lot of times that's another fractal coming in. So, and I don't know how many times we've talked about fractals, so we could talk about that just a little bit. So you have a soul, everybody knows that, but you also have a bigger part of you, which is your oversoul. So it's all the sum of every single lifetime. So consider each one of these little times as like a lifetime. And you've got several of them coming in now, right now, Jimmy. A lot of us have them. Sometimes we get a really big one and it makes us kind of like not feel great that day or feel off, tired, overwhelmed. We could feel like sick to our stomach that day. And that's all about things leaving the body that are not compatible with that new part of you that's coming in. And the reason that we have so many fractals within us now, because we started out with 1/10 of one fractal.
Wow.
Yeah. So most of our big soul wasn't really in the body. It was just a little bit. And now we're just getting more and more and more pieces of ourselves. So when you're asking questions and stuff, a lot of times it's coming from within. But if you hear that little voice, that's your oversoul.
Yeah.
Trying to get something through to you. So that's your higher self now, is the sum of all of these lifetimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because the energy is just amazing. I was listening to my son's 144,000 Awakening song, which is on fire. If you haven't heard it, folks, it's on the YouTube channel, and the portal is open that we did last week, has it at the end. It's on fire. Look at the comments. It lights me up. I know it's 144 hertz, but it lights me up. It's so exciting. I was in here and just feeling it and all of that. And the flow of energy literally was running through my left hand, in through my body, out my right hand, and doing a circle. I could feel this energy circling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is very interesting. I feel energy. I can feel it when I do my Tai Chi. I can feel, but I mean, I'm talking about like energy just flowing in a circle where I could feel it running through my hands and my arms, like doing this circle.
Yeah.
And so, folks, it's happening. The energy of this earth is increasing. Awakening is happening. Ascension is happening. Some people call that the rapture, but at the end of the day, it's about what frequency you're going to be at and the reality of that frequency, because every frequency has a reality, and it's what are you tuning into? That's going to be your reality. The higher you tune in, the better your reality. Talk about that a little bit, Sister Honey, before we get into the next thing.
Yeah, so the more awareness you have, the more fractals you have, and the more willing you are to listen and go with the flow versus, oh no, I can't do that because I have to go do this other thing. Or, oh, I always go to the grocery store this way. I couldn't take that turn, even though your higher self is asking you to. So usually it's a fairly simple thing that your higher self is asking you to do. And a lot of people don't do it. They bypass it. So if your higher self is asking you to pay attention to something, or to turn in a different direction, or to call someone or whatever, it's really important to do it because they're getting you to your higher timeline.
Yes, yes. And this is going to be a real good one. You're going to like this one, Sister Honey. So embodiment over escapism. Ooh, embodiment over escapism. Many of us are brilliant at intellectualizing our visions, at fantasizing about them, but true manifestation requires embodiment. It means grounding your vision in your physical body, in your daily actions. It's about feeling your vision in your bones, moving it through your hands, speaking it into existence rather than letting it remain a distant dream. Oh, wow. It's empowering it.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, Sister Honey. Let's talk about that a little bit because that's so powerful.
Yeah. So think about someone who was obsessed with like chocolate. Okay.
Me?
Yeah. But not good chocolate. Like chocolate, say,
Oh, no.
I don't want to say a name, but it starts with an H. Okay. So you're obsessed with that kind of chocolate. And there's a whole town that was created about this chocolate, right? And the whole town manufactures this chocolate. And that's the only one that you liked. And it has heavy metals in it. And it has soy in it. And it has lecithin in it, which is the soy. And it has a lot of things in there that aren't great for you, right? and you know that, and you continue to eat it, bypassing yourself, bypassing your health, it could be considered something like alcoholism, bad relationships. There's so many things that are very similar. But when I used to go to the acupuncturist, he was really proud because he had saved this lady from her 1 pound a day chocolate addiction. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of chocolate. It's one of those huge bars of chocolate every day. And it's really hard on you. Now, if you're eating raw cacao chocolate, fantastic. You're doing something very healthy. But anything that you feel you need more than you need to take care of yourself is not good.
Yeah. No, it isn't. And, it's so important to, consume things that are doing what's right and not consume things that are not, because that energy in creating that particular thing, whatever it was, if it wasn't done with integrity and all of that, it carries that frequency. So you're consuming, besides all of those chemicals, you're consuming that frequency of something that's built not to help someone, but actually to harm them and feed a disgusting system. But we won't get into too much of that
Well,
because,
and maybe your vision was to be thinner,
yeah,
but every day you sabotage it by eating a pound of chocolate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%, right? 100%. So the next thing, I don't think we talked about rhythm over routine yet, right? No, we
No.
didn't. So let's get into rhythm over routine. In our fast-paced world, we often chase rigid routines. Oh boy. But divine expression thrives on rhythm. Cultivating a natural, intuitive rhythm for your creative work sustains your energy and prevents burnout. It honors your natural cycles. Some days are for deep work, others for rest and integration. Listen to your inner drumbeat. Wow. Yes. I'm
Mhm.
learning to do that better, Sister Honey. How about you?
That's really good. Yeah, I am learning to do it better as well. And it's something that gets kind of, I don't want to say, a negative word, but you get talked out of it when you start school. So when the education system gets involved in your life, you get into one of these rigid routines, and it's actually not conducive to a real human experience. So it takes you out of flow, and that's important to be in flow.
Well, it's interesting, the education system or the indoctrination system
Right.
to get you out of that, right? They
Mhm.
don't want you to be in rhythm. They want you into a routine. Be a good little taxpayer, be a good little robot, do what we say, be a good little worker. It's going to be interesting as AI and robotics take over half the jobs by the end of this decade, probably based on what I'm seeing. I've been working with the AI agents to help, help us, get the word out, help take care of these tedious tasks that are repetitive. I mean, I'm seeing I've been working with it now for about 4 years, but now these agents, the writing's on the wall. I was telling my younger son, Junior, again, because he's a manager and an accountant, does the accounting and manages a nonprofit. And the new person came in and talked to them about, AI. Can you start bringing in AI? And I had told him a couple of years ago, I said, you better pay attention and start learning that, because what are they going to do when half the working population isn't working anymore? And now there is no routine, and it's only about the rhythm. And everybody's been taught the routine. It's an interesting time to be alive. And that's where we're headed. Things are going to have to shift in a major way when it comes to that. They're going to now wish that they had put people into the rhythm and not the routine. Oh, you're on mute, Sister Honey. I don't hear you.
We're in transition in every single way right now. So it's not just, I mean, we're seeing a governmental transition. We'll see a monetary transition. We're going to have to transition our habits tremendously. And that's going to really shift the way that we do things. And some people might flounder for a while. They may not know how to be in flow. And that's going to be something they'll have to figure out, probably by watching other people. But being in flow is beautiful, because then you're really not worried about much. Doesn't mean you never keep a schedule, you know, but it means that you're flexible and you're willing to move things around, and you're not freaking out about it either. And maybe you have too many stacks of stuff, you know, in places like I do. But you're not freaking out about it, right? I mean, your life is a beautiful thing. And be willing to be in flow and let some things take longer and some things just get resolved right away.
Yes.
And that's the flow of the universe. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we're going to talk about some practice tools for the flow. How do we invite this flow? Simply accessible practices, movements, even just a gentle stretch, connection with nature, a walk, a moment gazing at a tree, conscious breathing. Oh my gosh, breathing is so powerful. So powerful, and so many people don't do it, right? Just like the practice that we did, you know, over your heart, over your belly, visualizing the grounding, roots going all into the earth, so important. Stepping on a grounding mat, going out on the sand or the grass, getting into sea salt in the bowl and stepping in it in your house. And intentional silence, creating space for inspiration to land, quietness, going into your sacred place, listening to the beautiful healing music, really working on, you know, just getting into the flow and just letting things flow and not really getting attached to anything. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. But the more you practice, the better you get. And if you don't practice at all, then you're not. So here's embody movement and rhythmic action. So stand up if you can, or simply move in your seat. Let's gently shake off any stagnation. So, you know, shaking off and doing, there's another thing that you do. It's like the circle 8. You just go back and forth with your feet like this. It's really powerful. I mean, really, and just shake it all off. Roll your shoulders, sway your hips, stretch your arms to the sky. By the way, Brother Jimmy's one arm's a little frozen. So this one goes to the sky. This one's going halfway to the sky. Imagine you're shaking off old energy. You're getting rid of anything that's not good for you, making space for new, vibrant, creative energy to flow through you. Feel the aliveness in your body. Feel it. Like what happened to me the other day. I feel it all the time, but I'm talking about literally I could vision a circle of energy rolling around right in front of me, in front of this monitor, and going through like this, and I could actually see the form of it.
That's cool.
Okay, almost like what you see on that, what's his name, Doctor Strange. It was crazy. It was crazy, but shake all that off. But yet also I put the time in. I put the time in. 90% of the time I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the morning. Is there some mornings I've had a download where I couldn't do anything but absorb that download? Yeah. You know, not 100 times, but a few times. But, you know, put the time in. It's so important to put the time in. So many people want change, but they're not willing to put the time in to make the change happen. And it's so important right now. You better put the time in, because this is only going to accelerate. Mark our words. It's only going to accelerate. It's going to be very exciting, though. So now consider one of those divine whispers you identified. What is one small rhythmic action you can take this week to honor it? Perhaps it's 15 minutes of journaling each morning. a walk in nature every day, or simply speaking your vision out loud to yourself daily. Choose one and commit to its rhythm. So one of the things I'll do in the morning, and before we get into the final segment, which is manifesting your sacred vision, co-creation in action. So stick with us, folks. Stick with us. Stick with us. Okay. But let me show you when I start my morning off. Now, I go into Step Into Your Power. Okay, stepintoyourpower.com. You see it at the bottom of Sister Honey in my names. And I go right there to morning affirmations and I click on it and I go through and I read it and I put my hand over my heart and I read the affirmations out loud. And I just don't read them like, I wake with purpose, joy, and grounded power. No, I wake with purpose, joy, and grounded power. I'm aligned with the highest version of myself. I say it as it is. And I just go through and I go to every single one except for the one for the night, which I do before I leave the office most times. If I don't, I'm easy on myself. I used to not be, but I say it with conviction. I say it with confidence. I say it as fact. How important is that, Sister Honey, to say it as fact?
It's really important because you're impressing it upon your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is the record that runs your life. You know, it's 90% of what you're manifesting is your subconscious. So if you're writing things like, oh, well, I don't have enough money, I really wish everything would get fixed for me, you know, basically feeling like you have no control, then you're not going to have control and it will not be great. Even when you do get, you know, more, you'll still feel lack. That's important to remember because you want to be grateful for what you have now.
Yes.
And you want to feel those words. If you're going to do affirmations, you want to feel them. If you're going to meditate, you want to feel it. If you want to expand your bank account, then you want to create space in your nervous system for more money. You want to actually say, well, I really like money and I appreciate it. And I'm glad that it's here in my bank account. You know, things like that. It doesn't matter. I really appreciate that I'm feeling healthier every day. So whatever it is that you're doing, try and make sure that you're doing good things, you're speaking good things, and you're feeling good things for yourself. And you're letting go of the things that are not in your highest good. And don't repeat them.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what I see. I'm like, ooh.
I agree. And so this is going to be exciting. And this is our third segment, manifesting your sacred vision, co-creation in action. And the first thing we're going to talk about is vision as blueprint. Your sacred vision is not just a dream. It is a detailed energetic blueprint. It exists in the quantum field, waiting for you to impress it upon reality through your focused intention, emotion, and action. It's already complete in the unseen. Your work is to bring it into the seen. Gotta get into frequency with it. You gotta get into the right flow, the rhythm, and it will come. It's there. Everything you could think about that you could ever want. And believe me, money doesn't buy happiness. There's a lot of people with a lot of money, they ain't happy. Okay.
Yep.
But everything in your life that you could ever imagine that you want is already there. But again, are you vibrating to get it? Talk about that, Sister Honey, about because you were talking about blueprint before.
Yeah, I mean, we have a divine blueprint and that's been given back to us. We're not necessarily using it all yet. We're still having, you know, upgrades going on with the brain and with our ability to utilize who we really are. But really thinking about the energetic blueprint is really important. There are people that all they do is help people work with their nervous system in order to have more health, more abundance, more joy. And that's really what we're here for, are those things, and to carry ourselves forward more and more and get into higher and higher timelines. And what does that mean? That means you're letting go of those sandbags. You're letting go of anything holding you back. So maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's one of your parents, you know, and they're worried about you all the time. They're stressing. They're trying to manage your life. They're not allowing you to be yourself. And being able to say, that's not me. I'm going to do this. And actually feeling like you can do it. Those kind of things are really important. Maybe it's a friend, but usually it's what some other person is saying. And it's important to surround yourself with people that will elevate you versus pull on you. And that might only be you for a little while. I think the worry about being alone is another thing. And honestly, it's a beautiful place to have the whole day to yourself and to just be creating and doing things, and to not be interrupted and to not feel like you're, giving pieces of yourself away all day long.
Yeah, that can get pretty exhausting doing that,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing wrong with solitude. There's nothing wrong with being, being there for yourself. It's so, so important. And this next thing is important. And stay with us to the whole end, because we got lots of good stuff coming up. We're probably here with you another 15 minutes or so. So make sure you stay with us. But community over comparison. You hear us talking about community. Let me pop this up real quick. stepintoyourpower.com, your spiritual community. Come and join us. Very important. So community over comparison. This journey of manifestation is not meant to be walked alone. The power of shared intention and supportive community amplifies manifestation tremendously. Release the need to compare your journey to anyone else. Your path is unique, and your community is here to uplift, not judge. And that's what Step Into Your Power is about. We're here to uplift you and support you, not judge you. Over to you, Sister Honey.
Yeah, and we do several gatherings that are about manifesting. And I think that's really important. I know when you have two people, it's not just doubled the manifesting power, it's exponentially bigger. And I don't know the exact number, but it gets bigger and bigger every person that you add. So if somebody's sick and they're saying, can you pray for me? Or can you pray for my dog? Or can you help me with this or whatever, this or that? And a group of people come in together and they're manifesting for that person, it's very, very fast. And we do that and many other things. But really being aware that you can do pretty much everything on your own, but also it is beautiful to have community if you remain sovereign, if you're not judging everybody else, and if they're not judging you. And that's the space that we've created. And I really love it there. Like, everybody is so good with each other and so aware and learning. And that's their favorite thing, is to learn more about who we are and to discover more things about themselves. I mean, it's just lovely to watch.
It is a beautiful thing. And you know what's interesting is Saturday was 1 year since I started building out that community, when I got the download that because Step in Your Power, I had bought that domain name back in 2022. And I had started doing some interviews when I was with the Llama. And then I kind of shelved it once the Llama went rogue. And I'm like, okay. Then the divine said, no, it's time. I need you to start building that. And I was on the mission. I mean, I felt it like this wasn't something I should do. This wasn't something that I should think about. This was something I needed to do. And, it's interesting. I'm a firm believer in numbers and, numerology, the heavens, the stars, all of that. The divine created all of that and created it to communicate even better with us, like synchronicities, numbers in everything, 111, 333, 444, all of these numbers. And it's interesting that everything that's associated with this project, every domain name, every date of creation, every name, every single thing is in sync based on numerology. It is crazy. Me and my son were talking about this because, he's the decoder. And we were talking about this. I could not have planned it out. There's no way I could have done it. You know what I mean? As far as planning that out, that's divine. That's the divine doing it, and like I said, all of these names came to me in meditation. So it's divine. And even from when we started Step Into Your Power, the system, the community, to when I started building out the Guardian for it, both of those numbers, dates, are in perfect sync with each other. So, it's exciting what's going on in there. And this is only the beginning. It's only scratching the surface of where it's going. And come and join us. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to become part of the Ascension Mastery, it's $1 a day and you're helping support the free community. If you want to, help support the free community too, you can get off of our sponsor, bodyalign.com, energy wellness tools that help you with everything that you can think of and more coming. These bands that we wear are part of it.
I wear my frequencies every day.
EMF protection discs, sleep patches, all kinds of good stuff there. Millions of these shipped around the world and over 5,000 5-star reviews, but they help support the free community. So what I like to tell people is put your energy, whether it's financial or thought or whatever, into good things, because what you put your energy into comes back at you. And you got to really, all of us got to be really looking at what are we putting our energy into? And that also is our finances. What are we doing with it? Because as the frequency is increasing, the responsibility of that is also increasing. And if you're paying for something from a company that's doing harm to the planet and to the people, guess what? You're attached to it through your transaction, through your energy. You are now linked to it. Think about that. Remember that. It's important. So the next thing we're going to go through here is talk about and this is a good one, truth over trends. In a world saturated with external pressures, it's vital to align your vision with your deepest truth. Rather than chasing fleeting trends or external expectations, realness is not just a virtue, it is a magnetic force. When you are true to yourself, your vision becomes irresistible to the universe. Boy, is that true.
Yeah, it's so true. And really think about it. It could be even like your clothing. You're being true to yourself. Maybe you reincarnated from being a Tartarian. There's a young guy who's been reincarnated. It's very obvious. And he's working on free energy and he's playing music and he's wearing suits and top hats and stuff like that. And everybody loves him because he's unique. He's being himself. And he's basically showing people how to do amazing things. But you need to just be whoever you are. Like, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. if he had worried about that, and he's probably in his early 20s, then he wouldn't be the amazing person that he is.
Yeah, you got to be who you are. And, like I say, some people, Brother Jimmy's not their cup of tea, and it's okay. I'm all right with that. I have no problem with it because I know who I am, and the divine knows who I am, and I'm good with me. And that's how you need to be. So I want to talk about the next thing, and because we got some more stuff we're going to go through, and we probably got about 10 more minutes. Maybe we'll end this at 111. We'll see what happens here.
Okay.
Usually ends at a really good time. So the art of receiving. Manifestation is a dance of giving and receiving. Once you're set your intentions, taken inspired action, and align with your truth, you must open yourself to receive. Receive the support, the resources, the unexpected opportunities that align perfectly with your manifested vision. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. How many people do not open up to receive?
So many. Yeah. So, like, if somebody says, oh, well, I want to give you money for gas, and you're on a trip with them, or can I buy you lunch? And you say, no, I can buy my own lunch. Or they want to give you a present, and you're denying it, then you're basically blocking the universe from giving things to you.
Yeah, you got to be open to it. You got to understand that you're worthy of it. You got to make space for it. You got to vibrate with it, and then it comes. And I've done this over and over and over again in my own life. And I blocked it, by the way. I've been on the opposite side of that. But as you learn and you practice, it becomes better, right? It's all about optimizing you and stepping into your power, right? You're always going to be optimizing you. So the art of receiving really has to do with, it's also your nervous system again, is having it into a place where receiving is easy, because sometimes your nervous system doesn't even want you to receive because it's something different. And it's not in this, what we call the routine. It's not familiar.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So flight or fight and flight mode turns on. So really, the breathing, the grounding, the, going and hugging a tree, meditation, all of those things are going to help you really soften your nervous system and will open up the ability to receive easier. Yeah, you need to do that. That's so super important. Anything more on that? Because I got a lot of reading to do here to close us up today.
No, you go ahead. Okay.
So and it's 444, isn't that very interesting? Or 555. So find a comfortable. So we're going to do something right now. Visualization inspired action. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And now I invite you to step fully into your manifested sacred vision. So whatever that is, step into it, envision it, feel it in your bones, in your soul. Again, see it, feel it, hear it, taste it, smell it. What does it look like? How does it feel to be living this vision? Who are you in this reality? Spend a few moments fully immersing yourself in this experience, allowing every cell of your being to resonate with this future reality. Very important. Feel it deep inside of you. Another thing, hour of power, morning, night, half an hour before when you wake, half an hour before you go to bed. Really visualize, give that gratitude, give those affirmations, really, really do that. It's powerful. It really is super powerful. As you gently return, holding that feeling, ask yourself, what is one inspired action I can take today to honor my truth and move closer to my vision? It might be small. It might be grand. Trust the first thing that comes to mind and write it down. Most people second guess their first impression. And most of the time when you second guess your first impression, you're wrong. So learn to sink in with that first impression. It's so, so important. So folks, today we have journeyed deep. We've reclaimed our divine blueprint, understanding that our desires are sacred whispers. We've explored how to unlock our creative flow, embracing embodiment and rhythm, and we've actively engaged in manifesting our sacred vision, leaning into community, truth, and the art of receiving. Remember this profound truth: your expression is sacred and your desires are divine. I invite you to carry this potent energy forward into your week. Choose just one insight from today's episode, perhaps a divine whisper you now honor, a rhythmic action you commit to, or an inspired step you take, and integrate it into your daily life. And please share your reflections, your insights, your inspired actions in our Step Into Your Power community, for community truly amplifies creation. So important. So let us seal this sacred space with our affirmation, speaking it loud, feeling its power. I am a divine channel. My sacred vision flows through me with effortless grace, manifesting into beautiful reality. Say that with confidence. Say that like you know it's true. Mm-hmm. Step into your power. So thank you for stepping into your power, for showing up, and for co-creating this sacred space with us. Your presence is a gift. Until next time, beloved, keep expressing your divine truth and allowing your sacred vision to manifest with grace and power. Go forth and create. We love you very much.
Love you. Yes. Love you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.